One glance at history is enough to start wondering that humanity has survived, despite the fact that the description of medical procedures of the past reads like a thriller or a witch's cookbook. Let's find out today from what diseases ancient people drank urine and ate rabbit excrement. Is it true that syphilis in ancient times was treated with mercury, and a drug known to us as chloroform was drunk for cough? Did they really punch a mon's skull to cure a banal headache, and ate crocodile excrement so as not to give birth to children? These will be 7 unusual and absolutely insane ways to treat people in ancient times. In the distant past, people did not go out for a run in the morning, did not know what a healthy diet was, and did not go to the gym. They did not take a blood test, they did not undergo X-rays, and medicine was very far from the methods of treatment that we know now. But then how were they treated, even for simple diseases, so that they lived longer? Primitive people constantly struggled for their existence with natural conditions, also suffered from infectious diseases, died in wars with each other, were poisoned by poor quality food, and so on. It is believed that the average life expectancy of people at that time was 20 or 30 years. From the time of ancient Greece to medieval Europe, people did bloodletting, used leeches, ate chicken soup, making attempts to facilitate recovery. What was the most popular medicine for colds in ancient times? In the Middle Ages, bloodletting was very popular. They tried to treat even a simple runny nose. The method of such treatment has existed for more than 3,000 years, and only at the end of the 19th century it was discontinued as a method of treatment. Bloodletting was unsafe. As we imagine it now, patients often died, because along with traditional vein cutting, ancient people used leeches. At the end of the 18th century, 6 million leeches a year were used for bloodletting in Paris. When one day the English King Charles II fell ill, the doctor immediately began to give him bloodletting. In total, more than 600 grams of blood were released to the king. The treatment of Charles II did not stop there, and they gave him enemas, caused vomiting, and treated him with herbs. The king was so treated that he died. No less popular method of treatment in ancient times was trepanation of the skull. Drilling a hole in the head of a man who did not behave very well. The ancients believed that they were expelling evil spirits from him. It's no secret that such an aggressive procedure often led to a fatal outcome, and no more than 40% survived after it. In addition to insanity, trepanation was practiced in the Middle Ages and Renaissance to treat various ailments, including seizures and skull fractures. The topic of trepanation was in the Middle Ages and in the Renaissance in the center of attention. However, in the late Middle Ages, such operations were not carried out so often. Basically, at this time trepanation was carried out only to the highest strata of society. For example, a German aristocrat, the Prince of Nassau, suffered as many as 27 skull trepanations. Surprisingly, he survived and lived to be 72 years old. But, perhaps, one of the most disgusting ways of treating diseases in ancient times was eating feces. Suffice it to say that one of the ways to diagnose intestinal diseases in the 16th century was that a doctor ate the excrement of a sick person in order to make a more accurate diagnosis. Some sources claim that German soldiers in Africa during World War II ate fresh, warm camel excrement as a remedy for bacterial dysentery, just like the ancient Bedouin did. However, not only ancient people used feces to treat diseases. In the modern world, the number of scientific studies conducted on the basis of transplantation of human feces from healthy to sick is simply off the scale. American scientists suggest treating severe diarrhea or persistent recurrent diarrhea in this way, and the French suggested using this method for the treatment and prevention of diabetes mellitus and fatty hepatosis. So, my friends, all is not lost yet. and sometimes the medicine of the past is the best medicine in the modern world. The ancient Roman polymath writer Pliny the Elder believed that if a person was bitten by a rabid dog, then the wound from the bite should be opened and a piece of fresh beef should be attached to this place. After that, the naturalist argued, the patient should drink lard with lime juice, and the path to final recovery lies through a decoction made from wine and boiled badger droppings. British evangelist John Wesley has released a book with recipes that help treat many different diseases. For example, he recommended treating malaria with a magic spell and epilepsy with deer hair and bone powder. Lorenz Heister, German botanist, physician and surgeon, was born on September 19, 1683 in Frankfurt am Main. His father was a timber merchant, and his mother was a merchant's daughter. Lorenz received a decent education, and his books on medicine dominated for several generations, helping to train thousands of surgeons and doctors throughout Western Europe. Heister suggested treating one of the varieties of female tumors by applying a dead man's hand to the affected area. Subsequently, this method was replaced by beating on the sore spot with the Bible. But it is unlikely that modern doctors will want you to do this. Well, perhaps the treatment of headaches with cannibalism will come as a shock to everyone. Yes, my friends, you heard right. The practice of eating human meat for more than 1 century has contributed, according to many ancient doctors, to the treatment of many different diseases. So, in ancient Rome, powder from the mummies of murdered gladiators was sold in pharmacies. It was believed that it could cure epilepsy. And King Charles II, already known to us, did not disdain to drink a healing drink prepared on the basis of alcohol and crushed bones of the human skull. And if you're not in shock yet, you probably want to know how and where ancient people could drink fresh human blood to boost their vitality and improve well-being. After all, a sip of human blood in ancient times was considered one of the most healing drinks. To get drunk on fresh blood, people, for example, attended gladiatorial fights. The blood there was the freshest and cheapest. It was the medicine of the past, my friends. Although, it is quite possible that already some couple of centuries later our medicine will seem shocking to future generations. My friends, thank you for watching. I create high-quality content for you. Don't miss new videos. Subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to receive a notification. Michael's with you.